excited to share our next speaker. But wait, we have another exciting news for you. Day 8 Academy is giving a free ebook for MSMEs, the hashtag Entrep Rescue Marketing Tips for Entrepreneurs, compiled by Josiah Go. Learn from the stories of marketing rock stars and how they help the MSMEs and entrepreneurs to survive and thrive during the new normal. If you want a copy, you may download it from day8.org, www.day8.org. Now that we have learned about the 4 gates of entrepreneurship, allow me to welcome our last, but definitely not the least, who will be sharing about the We Entrepreneur, understanding the 5 tasks and 5 treasures of entrepreneurship. Chiqui Escareal-Go is the president and CEO of Mansmith and Fielders Incorporated. She heads the Mansmith Training Group, which includes Day 8 Business Academy Foundation. She has written and co-written 9 marketing and entrepreneurship books. Among her notable awards and recognition are the Outstanding Filipina Entrepreneur in 2011 in the Trailblazer category. Wow. The Go Negosyo Women Enabler in 2014 and the ASEAN Women Entrepreneurs Network Award in 2015. She is actively set up, organized, and strongly supported various advocacies both for business and personal endeavors, such as the Mansmith Young Marketing Masters Award and the Market Masters Conference. She is also the president of the Josiah and Carolina Go Foundation that provides various scholarships and assistance to the less fortunate young Filipinos. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on our virtual stage, Chiqui Escareal-Go.
Thank you for the introduction and good day to everyone. We're actually down to the last session of our summit and I hope it had been interesting and fruitful for everyone. I will try to put some things together through a framework that Josiah and myself actually drafted more than 10 years ago when we wrote our entrepreneurial journey in the book entitled The We Entrepreneur. The Whole Entrepreneur or the We Entrepreneur. Now, this framework was actually born out of our own blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, our own personal journeys into entrepreneurship. Now, while Josiah was pretty much natural when it comes to being an entrepreneur, I had to learn. I had to learn how to be one, and our story is there. Of course, I might have had my strength in the family spiritual sphere. I was a housewife for 10 years, taking care of my kids before I became an entrepreneur myself. And that was a place, again, that was a scenario that Josiah naman had to find his location on where he would fit in, as there were a lot of challenges and a lot of things going on, particularly as he was growing the business and as we were growing the family. So there were a lot of things happening there. We are grateful that we were able to put together and find our equilibrium in the 5 tasks and the 5 treasures that is the framework that I will be presenting in a while. And that's all written in the book because somehow we were able to put together both our strengths and both our lessons in life and in business that we wrote in the book, The We Entrepreneur. So allow me to share my slides. Now, this is the cover of the second edition of the book. Now, the first edition was written in 2009, and 10 years later, we thought, let's update it. Now, if you were an entrepreneur, I think you would agree with me that if it would stood the test of time of 10 years, then maybe there's some value in it that's still relevant up to today. And indeed, we feel such is true. We just updated some of the things that happened to us along the way, but it's pretty much consistent with how we grew as entrepreneurs ourselves over the years. And I'd like to mention that this idea actually back in 2009, the idea was came about as an offshoot of our experience with the marketing rescue program that we ran for entrepreneurs, where we gave them a platform to inquire with us on their issues, on their businesses. Back in 2009, we were doing a lot of mentoring, and we were a bit concerned that the questions we were receiving were what dangerously basic. And I say dangerously because they were already embarking on businesses and still asking basic questions that could be very expensive tuition fee, so to speak. So we thought, why don't we put things together and localize it, personalize it, and so it's easier for people to understand that we ourselves went through this entrepreneurial journey, and this is what we went through to put it together. And then, of course, as consistent with any Mansmith programs, we like to put frameworks so it's easier for our participants or our readers or our mentees to follow. So we will be talking about the 5 tasks and the 5 treasures of every entrepreneur that we have been able to put together over the years. Oh, by the way, I have to say that when Josiah first wrote this, it took me about 2 years to write my part, because I was thinking of how vulnerable we would be because we were exposing our lives in a book. But yeah, what you see is what you get. So let me proceed. So Josiah in the earlier talks shared with us the gates of entrepreneurship. But in this context, I want to be able to present the 5 tasks and the 5 treasures of how we can go through the gates, okay, of how we went through in our own personal journey. And I will be discussing that in detail. Now, as I mentioned, Josiah talked about the 4 gates of entrepreneurship and the sharings of our guest entrepreneurs, guest speakers, pretty much showed you the way, as they went through each gate, each process that enabled them to become the successful entrepreneurs they are now, from creating the business model to getting their mentors and, of course, the funding needed. Then you see as they advance through having very clear target market and messaging that they knew had to be part of the value proposition that differentiated them from the others. And of course, very, very critical is gate 3, which is especially during COVID. And you've heard their stories again of how they were able to execute quickly and do the pivots. As part of being an agile and a very connected and aware entrepreneur that would, of course, bring them to the final gate. As you achieve all the first gates, you realize that why are we doing this? It's important to understand the self and the self-leadership and self-mastery. Why at gate 4? Because usually, and we know this for a fact, that a lot of entrepreneurs are really focused on gate 1 to 3, right? And that's not bad. I mean, that's where it all starts. We all start with needing to create a concept, a business model of being able to earn money because that's what we're in business for, and then we realize, oh, we have to professionalize and create awareness. And then you go to the next level. We say, oh, we have to do better at operations because we're bleeding money here and we need to be able to control the costs. And then only then, when it's all running quite as it should, then you realize, okay, then let's go to a higher sense of purpose. And then that's the house of prosperity. And the nice thing about it, as you listen to our speakers, is everyone there was able to bring their entire families and their employees together. And then we go now to the first framework, which is really the 5 tasks, Josiah's core, Josiah's strength in putting together the things that are important in setting up, starting a business and sustaining it and growing it, right? So we talk about the vision mission. Now, we know for a fact that when a lot of small and SMEs, MSMEs start with the business, it's really a survival mode, right? We want to earn extra to add to the budget because what we're earning is not enough, and it's all earn, right? And looking at opportunities that's quick money, even if it's maybe not sustainable, but that's a start. But we encourage entrepreneurs to really reflect, because you're investing time and money and effort and even your name on something that's not sustainable, then it's a waste, right? So is it possible to start with a clear and exciting vision and mission? Earning money is part of that vision. It's a business after all. But can it be more focused? I always get questions when I mentor in places. What's your first suggestion to your mentee, or what's your first advice? And I always say is, when you come up with the business, are you addressing an unmet need, or are you just copying what the others are doing? Is that exciting for you, right? And also understanding, the second thing is always understanding what the marketing problem is. Here you are trying to do business, but you can't earn money, you can't get the customers, and then what is your purpose? What are you trying to address? And it's not clear because your vision mission is not clear. And then if it's not exciting, here's the thing. If it's not exciting, then you don't want to get up in the morning after you get frustrated and after you lose some clients or lose some money. And it happens because it's up and down. And if it's not exciting enough, you're going to give up easily. So you want to go into that direction of being clear that you want a vision mission that's exciting, because you want to wake up in the morning excited to get going. And you've heard that in our guest speakers when they shared their journeys, no? Like, there are a lot of obstacles, but because there is a clear vision mission, they find ways to go around, not to go around, to go about addressing the obstacles. Of course, you also realize that their businesses already contain a compelling value proposition. You want to do business with them because they're so clear in what they're offering the customers, the benefits that they're offering, the value that they're getting for that they're giving the customers is so clear. You know, when it's as simple as a solution for Nick, which is I've actually read that on Facebook. A lot of people were asking, "What's the solution to this? What's the solution to this?" And it's the first time I heard that that Dragon Edge actually has such product. No, tents, for example, moving on and pivoting, and the food industry being able to find other channels to be able to address a gap, no? And there was a huge gap during COVID, and a lot of tweaking and adjusting the value proposition so it's compelling for people to try you. Of course, it also started already that they had a good value proposition from the start. Of course, you have to make attractive profit because you're here for the business. And if you don't have an attractive profit, again, you're not gonna want to wake up in the morning and do and work on something new or something more. Pagod na pagod ka, and yet you're not reaping the benefits of a successful business. Maybe because you don't have an enduring cash flow, puro utang, puro lista, and you don't want that to happen. Again, one of the things that when people ask me what is one thing that you want to make sure that entrepreneurs are on the lookout for, it's cash flow, because you have to be able to pay your suppliers, your employees, you have to be able to take advantage of opportunities. And if you don't have cash flow, kasi puro utang or puro receivables, then you can't grow. Now, so solvable execution issues. Again, in operationalizing the business, no, you have to be clear from the start that you don't violate anything. So, for example, setting up a business in a residential area, now you can't get business permits. Usually, an issue that small businesses start with because they want a home business. So, all these things, you make sure that as you invest, as you put together your business, you are also addressing execution issues. Business, right? And when Josiah completed this picture, and there were a lot of examples in the book, he realized this is so incomplete. There's something more to this. And he knew, and we both knew as entrepreneurs working together, a married couple working together, again, a model that is true for a lot of MSMEs, right? Husbands and wives working together. He realized that no, we have to develop something else. This is not all there is to it. And the problem is when if you stick to this, something's gotta give. And we do have a lot of mentees actually reaching out because they were having family problems and on a personal level. So that's exciting vision mission, that's compelling value proposition, attractive profit, enduring cash flow, and solvable execution issues for the 5 tasks. Then we go to the five treasures, and Josiah mentioned, okay, Chiqui, your turn. And I will say, are we gonna talk about our lives here? How what we went through, the struggles that we have, and but yeah, we actually thought of putting a framework that really focus on our value system. And when it's value system, it could be a bit tricky for some because we might sound preachy, or parang we're imposing our values. But take it for what it is. This is who we are, and this is how we survived, and um, we're able to share blessings. No? So, for example, believe in God. So, whatever your faith is, our concept is we need to be anchored on something that will help us spiritually grow. It cannot be all money, no. It cannot be all the business, because something will give, and we need to anchor our faith on something that will guide us through the rough times, to know there is hope because we've done our best, and we will let God do the rest. Beloved family, now very critical that as you go through your success, is you have a group of people, a tribe to celebrate with. Now, if you're a single person, it could be your siblings or your own parents, or even a community that you're active with, an advocacy that you're an orphanage, for example, that you're giving time with, and that makes it special. What you're working for is for a beloved family. Good health, oh my goodness, something that we admittedly are still working on a higher level of awareness, that we know we have to keep working on our health, especially now that we're senior citizens. Really realizing that if we have peace of mind, we are tired, but we can work hard, but we can also play hard, and enjoy the benefits of being able to eat good food, being able to have medical checkups, and then all of that because of the structure that we set our business for. Then good health we should be on the lookout for good health. Now, on a personal level, it was important as well that we were on the lookout for ourselves. And as lifelong learners, Josiah and I constantly invested on a lot of conferences, extra executive education courses here and abroad. We were building ourselves on a personal level as well, not just together as a family, but also on an individual basis. We had to, like, for example, I'm finishing my master's in anthropology at the moment, and that's again making me grow to another level when I put marketing anthropology, business anthropology, and putting all these together makes me excited, and I'm able to contribute meaningfully again, whether in the academe or in the as a member of the board of certain institutions that I'm part with. And that gives me a sense of meaning and purpose. And of course, again, going back, all this, we need to be able to work with a relevant network, a network that can support the ecosystem in which we thrive, as a network that we can contribute to as well, whether it's, again, the community, your church, other families, and other things. And the thing here is, when we wrote this, no, so belief in God, beloved family, good health, meaningful self, relevant network, when we put this together, it was like on separate pages or separate PowerPoint slides. We didn't realize that as we put them side by side, it was interconnected in so many beautiful ways. For example, can you imagine having a vision mission that is anchored on your faith, with your belief in God? Doesn't it give you a bigger picture right away? Doesn't give you a sense of mission right away? Knowing that it is God's gift for you, and you have a duty to make use of your talent or to your opportunities. A value proposition. What can be a better value proposition than having a beloved family who who appreciates your efforts, right? Your value proposition to your beloved family is, I'm working hard so I can give this to you, but I have time for you. So you have to be part of the value proposition for your family. You have to be worth it. Just as a value proposition for your business, why would I buy your product or service or support you or your business? The same way is, why would my beloved family try to even understand why I'm sacrificing so much for them? Right? And then they understand, because it's all for the good of family. When you look at profit and you look at this sense of self, a good health, for example, isn't that the best profit that you can have? Having a good sense of having good health. Now yun ang kinita mo. Because I'm able to do well in my business, I'm able to have good food, good checkups, and everything. Cash flow. You need cash flow not just to grow businesses and opportunities, but also opportunities for self-development, a meaningful self. And finally, execution. You need a relevant network, coaches, mentors, communities that can suppliers, then that have good relationships with you, so you can to be able to take advantage of opportunities and to grow. And if you think about it, it's all about relationships, especially the 5 treasures. No, you look at your relationships with family, friends, even yourself, self-care, strangers who can be part of your mentors or your consultants and to help you have a meaningful self, and of course, your relationship with God. So if you look at it, no, we have the 5 tasks and the 5 treasures. We used to say it's the front and the back. It's up to you to think to define which was more important, which is the front or the back. But really, it's interspersed, both important. Now the question is, that's 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, right? So if you think about it, if you miss out on one, 90%, that's not so bad, right? Doesn't sound so bad. You miss out on 2, it's 80%, still passing. But in this case, think about it. If the one thing that you don't have, you didn't hit, is good health. You have everything else, your business is thriving, your family is okay, but you can't appreciate it. You can't travel with people. You can't enjoy the fruit of your labor because you're sick. You can't move. You forgot the value of good health. What if everything is good, but you don't have cash flow because everything is on receivables, right? In this case, here's a perfect example that everything has to be 100%. It has to be 10 over 10, not 9 over 10 or 8 over 10. It has to be 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, because a whole entrepreneur is a 100%. So thank you very much for listening. If you want the complete story, the books are available online. It is an honor to have been able to share our story with you and our frameworks and our journey. I hope that it will help you achieve your entrepreneurial dreams in the least painful way as possible. Always pain, but no pain, no gain. So good luck to everyone. Godspeed on your entrepreneurial journey.